Hello, and welcome to another episode of Talkappella. I'm one half of your hosts, Elicia Edwards, and joining me is my Aka partner in crime, my Aka bestie, I was going to say brother from another mother, but that's not, my good friend Brian.
Okay, you were trying some stuff there. That's some new things. You got to give me a heads up on that one. I mean,
Never,
it's
never,
true. It's true. I just wasn't
never.
expecting it. So, but
How you
yeah,
doing, my
everything you
friend?
say is I'm good. I'm doing
Yeah.
well. How are you doing today? What's going on in your
I'm
world?
good. February is winding down, and I'm grateful for it. My birthday is
Hmm.
coming up, which is always
Ooh,
exciting. Actually, I think my
nice.
birthday will have
Okay.
passed by the time this episode airs.
Oh, well,
That's fine.
happy birthday.
Early slash belated.
One of those, exactly.
Thank
We'll
you.
celebrate either way.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate
So
that. We
perfect.
are here for another episode of season 3, and
We are.
today's pretty exciting. I feel like so. I mean,
Mhm.
my understanding is we have a guest special today.
You are half right. We have multiple guests
We
joining us
have
today.
guests
We have
special.
guests joining us today, and I'm so excited, ecstatic, thrilled for what's about to happen
Yeah,
because
tell
we
me, tell
have
me who we got.
I know we have our first guest of the new season of Talkappella. It's been a sec since we had a guest, but joining us today, we have some very important people from Capital Green, which is an a cappella group out of Michigan State University. Joining us, we have Audrey Allen, who is the PR manager, as well as Justin Babbitt, who is the creative director. Audrey and Justin, how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm very, very excited to be here today.
Me as well. Very grateful, very excited, and always down to talk some acapella. So
Oh,
Well,
beautiful. As are we. That
yeah,
is that
you
is.
came to the right place.
I was gonna say that's the name of the game here, really. So we've already talked about your names. So can you tell us how long you've been members of Capital Green?
So Justin and I actually joined the same year.
Okay.
I joined as a sophomore. He joined as a junior. We joined this our third year in the group, um, and also our final year in the group.
Oh,
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh
Justin, I don't
my
know if you wanted to
goodness.
talk about that, but we have a similar trajectory in the group. So
well, and
very much
and
so.
so I know. Yeah, and Justin, anything to add? Okay. Well,
So,
let me quick follow up because I know
mhm.
Brian said that you're the PR manager, Audrey, and Justin, you're the creative director. How did you come into those roles in the group?
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey for us, like Audrey said, because we kind of came in at the same time. Um, we kind of saw some things that were like, hey, we have some special skills and special interests, and we want to make them kind of shine and stand out in the group. So I was really drawn to choreo from the start, and I think Audrey was pretty drawn to the Instagram graphics and promoting our brand and making our merch and all those things from the very beginning. So I think as we gained some experience in the group, we started showing those interests early, and people started to trust us, and um, now we're here in those roles, which is super exciting. So
Very cool.
And I'm curious with that, those roles that you have in the group, is any of that tied to what you actually study or anything like personal goals towards your profession, anything like that?
yeah, I am an interdisciplinary major, so I do focuses in performing arts, writing, and education, and my minor is in musical theater. So kind of a broad scheme of things. But like Justin said, I had these interests early on, but I didn't really put like a name to it. And we've had the role in the group, and I was like, you know what, maybe that's something that would be good for me. So I don't know if Justin had a similar thought to that as well.
I did, yeah. We both come from a show choir background actually in high school, so that was kind of where our love for choreography comes. But I study education, and I'm in a higher education program at Michigan State, so there's not a ton of overlap and crossover in terms of being a choreographer and creative director of an a cappella group to higher education. But it's a fun thing to do outside of the class and outside of my professional work. So
Yeah, I mean, one can dream, maybe one day a cappella would grow a little bit more and you can, kind of
Maybe
take
you'll be a
advantage of
maybe
that.
you'll be a choreography teacher one day. Who knows?
That's true. So before we get too deep into this, I got like kind of a random question, but it relates. It relates to Capital Green because my first exposure, and I told Alicia all this before we really got things going with planning for this interview. Was like I found Capital Green because I stumbled across a video, I think from almost 14 years ago of the group.
Hashtag
You
old.
got no. I didn't want to use old, but okay, if you want to use that word there.
No, referring to you, not the video.
Okay, now I'm a little bit offended, but
You should be.
but it was a group. I mean, it was a take you guys take on, or members at that time take on me, and it's probably one of the earliest videos I remember watching when I really started getting into acapella. And I'm curious, as members of Capital Green, do you guys ever find yourself like going back, or maybe before the time you joined, did you ever go and check out videos of what the group used to be like? Do you find yourself now going back and maybe reminiscing a little bit about what the group used to be and where you guys are at now?
1000%. We even we look back to like last year and we're like, what a time that was. Like, we love, and our alumni is so supportive and so engaged with us still. Like, we have Andy Poole, who is one of the producers for the Great Lakes region. She was in the group in its very, very early stages, and she has watched it progress. And we love looking back at even like our old EPs on Spotify and saying like, oh my gosh, like look at how crazy like in acapella in general has changed from what it was to now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's a big transition. And I mean, Elicia and I get the chance to analyze a lot of acapella, kind of its current state, but we always talk about where our groups or our collegiate experience was at the time is so vastly different from what you guys are currently going through. It's just like, man, we definitely feel old. I'm gonna use that word now, but it definitely makes us feel a certain way.
Brian, what was your last year in Green Tones?
We don't need to do that.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess for the record, my last year in my college group was 2012. So, over 10 years ago. That's all I'm gonna say.
My 1 year in collegiate acapella was after that.
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, I'm the grandpa here. So.
Well, it was during grad school, so.
Oh, okay.
I'm still older. Yeah.
Well, good thing, I mean, you and I have experience post-collegiately, so that counts for something.
Brian and I actually met in a post-collegiate group.
Mm-hmm.
And met because of an ad he put on Craigslist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we recounted our tales of Craigslist acapella.
So much fun.
Endeavors,
so much fun. So back to Capital Green. Can you tell us about the culture of the group? And I mean, Audrey, you mentioned a little bit about how you've got that really supportive, you've got a lot of support from the alumni. So that tells me a little bit about the culture. How would you describe the group's identity and overall vibe?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think from the second me and Audrey stepped into the group, we had a very clear group culture and group dynamic from the start. I think the first thing that comes to mind is that we've always shown a lot of pride in having fun on stage, and just really having a performance that is super fun to watch as an audience member. We watch a ton of acapella all the time, and we really have a lot of conversations as a group. Just thinking of different ways to make ourselves more engaging. And we've always loved acapella for the singing aspect first, especially when we first got in the group. And we really just pride ourselves on how can we be the most fun to watch. And that bleeds into our personal lives as well. So we're a really high energy group. We talk a lot. We're always with each other. We're each other's best friends. And I think we just are very extra, and we just have a lot of good times with each other. We're very loud at times, but
there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And so I'm curious with that, because you mentioned, Justin, about you all kind of putting a focus on the fun and, maybe there's a lot of high energy arrangements, things of that nature. I find when I watch a lot of groups today, it feels like acapella has kind of transitioned more to this very artistic thing where a lot of groups, they want to put on this kind of like art piece kind of thing. And I'm curious, as it relates to Capital Green, with you guys having more of a focus on fun, do you ever find any kind of contention with how much do we want to make a statement with our music versus how much we just want to just perform and have a good time on stage?
Yeah, we definitely, like Justin said, we pride ourselves in having fun, but that also means telling a story with each other and to the audience. And we've noticed that sometimes when we see a set that is more theme focused or has a different tone or vibe than us, we just tell stories in a different way. Like, we're still having fun, but we're telling a cheerful part while still being like thematic and having a story. We we also like value our brand a lot, and we know that like our strengths rely in like like having fun, and some groups strengths rely in like, you know, telling a story more personally still. So we've just definitely really honed in on like we look good when we have fun, we sound better when we have fun, and like that's just like that's how Capital Green does it. And I think that's, we've noticed that it worked, and we're like, you know what, let's just do it again. Like,
So with that, I have a question about choreography, because I know you both do choreography for the group. You're having fun on stage. You sound better when you're having fun. How do you navigate? And you have a pretty large group. I want to say you have like close to like 19 members or so. And like I'm wondering how you navigate choreography with a group of that size and make sure that it's effective, but also make sure that it's not taking away from the sound.
Yeah, and great question, because we are always reevaluating that and seeing what we can do better. I think it's funny because we go back a few years ago and we used to not do any of our arrangements or choreography in-house. So it was an experience that was a lot different for us our first year in the group. And we had actually gotten told that year that we were doing too much choreography because it was taking away from our sound. And you could definitely make a case that that was our least choreographed set that we've done in the past few years. So I think the biggest step that we did take was taking ownership of the choreography in-house, which really did start with me and Audrey saying, hey, we have a skill and passion for this. Will y'all trust us with this? And the group gave us the green light. And then the same on the music side with our awesome MDs, Danny and Shayna. We really decided to take ownership over that creative process, and it allowed us to make really super intentional decisions behind that choreography. Me and Audrey had a lot of chats last year about putting our aces in our places. We have a lot of people with dance experience, which we're really grateful for. And we were like, let's go highlight those people on stage. We have 19 bodies, and we have we want to take up the whole stage and use everyone to their best strengths. So we're really intentional about giving people their moments and then also letting them breathe on stage and get a chance to catch their breath. So we're really intentional about where we place our people, and you know how we carry ourselves from moment to moment and song to song.
Is there a like maybe a percentage as it relates to how many songs you guys do that have choreography versus ones that don't?
If there is an opportunity to do choreography, we are most likely doing it. We have like MSU sanctioned a cappella concerts, and last year we were like, you know what, let's do choreography for this. And like nobody had really done, besides like horseshoe and maybe some formations of choreography at this concert. And we were like, you know what, like we need some ICCA prep, and you know, it's a 3-song set, let's just do it. And I think I'm sure Justin can agree with me, that kind of sparked us to be like, wait, like this is great, let's do this every year, let's, you know, let's add choreography to everything we do. So
no, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm glad that you brought up ICCA. I think that's a perfect transition spot. Now
I was gonna say three set show or 3-song,
right,
3-song set.
Right. So I want to start here. So I want to talk about ICCA first from last year's standpoint, because last year you all competed, Capital Green competed at ICCA, and you all placed at semifinals, and you went on to advance all the way to finals.
Congratulations. Well done.
Exactly. And I'm curious, going into this year, I was wondering if you all felt any kind of like pressure. Were there any expectations as a result of how well you all did last year going into the new season?
Yeah, it's super interesting, you know, you bring that up, because I think that was definitely very apparent within our group, especially bringing our newbies in, because we've been a group that's really always had a chip on our shoulder. We've always known that we're not the craziest singers, the craziest dancers, or craziest performers. Not a lot of us are music majors, but what really brings us together is how much we do love each other. We've had a lot of adversity throughout the past few years, that strengthened our bond and strengthened our willingness to perform together. So we were really surprised when we had so much success last year, because we were really confident in ourselves, but at the same time, our group hasn't really experienced that before, at least in recent history. So it was really cool and a huge honor for us to take that on. But then into this year, we didn't really have the playbook for how to go about our entire calendar year. Going into the fall at our annual Acapalooza, which is our Michigan State acapella showcase, we went in with a ton of expectations, and we did the most choreo we've ever done. We were the most intentional about arrangements we've ever been at that performance. And it was hard. It was really hard. The timeline was tough. We were really hard on ourselves. And there were some tough weeks and tough days like every other acapella group has. But I think it did a great job of preparing us for the season we're in now, which is great. So to answer your question, those expectations were definitely there, and they were set by our leadership team and by ourselves, because we had so much fun last year going and doing all the things, and we just want to continue that success and have fun. So.
Well,
Yeah, and I have a small follow-up. Sorry, small follow-up question with that, because you mentioned, this effort to not be so hard on yourselves. I'm curious, like, what do you all say? Because obviously you mentioned you have new members that come in that didn't, have that experience of last year. What do you say to your group after, you've done so well and now you're preparing and you're trying not to overhype yourself up about anything? What was the messages that were being shared in the group going into everything?
I think we were mindful that this year is going to look different no matter what. And especially, like Justin said, letting in those new people, there was also an expectation from them that, this is a finals level group. And there was a lot of pressure on, like, in their brains too. And we wanted to be welcoming and inviting, also still say that this is a high commitment group. And we use the term ICCA hangover because a lot of us were like, man, like, we just want to go back and we want to do so well, and our standards are so high, but sometimes you have to just peel all of that back and, like, remember, like, it's a new year, and it's like we're creating something new with a new set of people, and just like bringing ourselves back down to earth a little bit has just been really helpful for all of us in this process.
Absolutely, that makes sense.
Thank you. You talked about you've got a new group, recognizing you've got new people. It's a new year, but it sounds like you're on track to potentially repeating last year. So Capitol Green recently competed in the Great Lakes ICCA quarterfinal, and not only did you place first, congratulations, but you also took home multiple awards: outstanding vocal percussion for the entire set, outstanding arrangement for Lightning, and outstanding choreography, kudos to you both, for Take My Breath. So to take home so many of those individual awards, I gotta know, I mean, it's not an easy accomplishment, but I got to know what was going through your head as you heard your group's name being announced for all of these awards.
We were so grateful and so thankful. A few years ago, it's really interesting. We were, at least our first season in ICCA, me and Audrey, we were just happy to be there on stage, and we were just honored to be in the presence of so many other a cappella groups that were so amazing. Some of our biggest inspirations, Maze Mirchi, No Comment from Illinois, the Clefhangers, like we were just super excited to even be in the conversation of being on stage with those groups. So, hearing our name called at that quarterfinal is just such a pleasure and an honor, and it makes all the hard work that we put in super worth it. We have a ton of nights where we'll stay in the College of Music till like 2 a.m, just trying to get things right. And we always like to say, it was like we try our best to not let anyone outwork us, because we don't always think we're the most talented group ever, but we think we work the hardest, and we don't want anyone to take that from us. So we're just super grateful and super thankful, and it was a testament to our hard work and our dedication to the craft that we love.
I love that mentality, because I've shared that with tons of people I've spoken to. I'm like, give me a group, no matter if it's art, sports, whatever, give me a group of hard workers over talented people any day, because that will convince me, hey, I'm working with the right level of commitment here. So I love that you brought that up. And I'm thinking, in the months leading up to ICCA, when you guys are rehearsing, you're prepping, you're getting ready for the big event, was there ever a moment where you guys like maybe had like an aha moment that, oh man, this set could be something special?
There are some times where, like, so we do voice, like, audio recordings of just random parts of our set in rehearsals. If we're like, hey, let's listen to it here and then let's fix it, or go sleep on it. Like, we usually record we do runs of sets. We make everybody watch that run overnight and then come to rehearsal the next day with notes, or what did you like, what didn't you like. And I actually think one of our aha moments was recently. We were the deliberation group at an ICHSA quarterfinal here in Michigan, and we got to just sing the set without any choreography or anything, and just feeling that out and just remembering like where the music comes from and just singing it. I think we were all just like, whoa, like I can't wait to do that again in Milwaukee. Like I think it brought me at least back down to earth, as I said, and really excited and less pressure, because we actually get to sit there and really enjoy it. And I'm sure, Justin, I don't know if you have another aha moment, but that was definitely one for me.
Yeah, I think that's a great one. And Audrey brings up a good point, because basically our entire year, which has been different than previous years, we did a mock ICCA set basically in the fall at that Acapalooza competition. So we've pretty much been go, go, go. And sometimes you're so plugged into the set and your part in it it's really hard to just sit back and enjoy it. And we performed at the beautiful Skyline High School. Don't know if y'all have been there or not, but it's just super wonderful. We had a great crowd there that was supporting us, and it just was such a good opportunity to say, hey, we're proud of what we're doing musically, and people enjoy it. So it was really cool to sit there and just enjoy the music and feel it out.
Yeah, I love that sentiment there, because I think back to the one time many years ago when our group performed at ICCA. We never enjoyed the moment because we were just so, dead set on we got to be perfect, we got to do everything right. So I'm glad to hear that you all had a different approach there and able to kind of have some self-reflection there. So love
and
that.
I agree with Audrey. It definitely helps to like just sit there and enjoy it. Like it definitely takes an element of stress away from it. I very much remember, got to make sure my choreography's right. Oh, this is my part. And like just thinking, I want to win. So that was always fun. So Capitol Green, with your win at quarterfinals, you've secured a spot in semifinals. So what comes next for you in terms of preparing for the next round? Are there any notes or comments other than what you've already shared with us? Maybe notes or comments from judges that you may need to use to alter your set?
Yeah, the great thing about our group is that we've gone to semifinals for the past few years, and every single person besides our newbies has been to the Pabst Theater in Milwaukee. So that experience of going and just preparing for that many years, it's kind of become ingrained in our group. Of we know what to expect, we know how this is going to go, and our leadership team knows that as well, which is really great. So I think there's kind of two parts to that. There's the logistical side of we try to get as many notes from as many people as we can that we trust, whether it's choreo, arrangement, overall effectiveness of the presentation. And then we also, typically in our region, we have more time in between quarters and semis than pre-quarters. So on our side, especially as the creative team, it's how do we rehearse in an effective way that's still fun and keeps the set fresh. And we've been trying a bunch of different new things out because we've really started to get a feel for our groove. But that's, I think, the biggest thing for us is the set can get really monotonous and mundane, and you got to find new ways to rehearse. And we've been exploring different strategies and different ways to keep it fresh. So we really think that gives us a leg up, and we really are excited about some of the things that we're able to do, not just logistically, but on the fun side, keeping rehearsal efficient, fun, cool, and fresh for Milwaukee.
I'm curious with that. Do you guys have maybe like a confidant or someone that outside of the group who you trust the most to like critique you all and how you perform?
We usually go to alumni first.
Okay.
But outside of that, we do have some MSU affiliated people who maybe weren't a part of the group, who we've had, like sound engineer Dan Dade used to be in one of the other a cappella groups here at MSU, or we take previous semifinal judges. Like if people leave their contact information on that sheet, like there's a good chance we're going to use it. Reach out to them, even if it's a couple years after. Like we really value getting all, like obviously Justin said, picking and choosing who we want. But that's the beauty of getting this extra time, is like for quarters, we had to kind of, throw everything together in a month and just do it. And now we have the privilege of a little bit more time and actually getting to fine tune all those small details and really talk about the story and just really like icing on the cake.
No, that makes sense, and I think that's very helpful, very beneficial, and I'm sure it's going to bode well for you guys in what's to come. And so, I mean, we're wishing you all the best at ICCA. I mean, you're one of our new favorites. I mean, I'm just going to throw that out there. So we will be rooting for you guys
Yes,
as
absolutely.
supporters of all things acapella. So. And with that, I think we're going to transition into something a little bit different, right,
Yeah,
Elicia?
we are. Yeah, we are. So for our audience who has seen the show previously or tuned in to listen to the show previously, once upon a time, Brian and I used to do a round of rapid fire questions with our guests. And so we're kind of bringing that back a little bit and getting in touch with our roots. So Audrey and Justin, I guess we'll see how many questions we can ask you. Usually I want to say limited it to like 5 or 10. But Brian's shaking his head, so I think we're just going to go through the whole list and we'll ask you the questions first thought that comes to mind, and we'll have some fun with it.
And the only caveat is both of you have to answer. So
Yes, absolutely. So I'll start with the first question, which is related. What other collegiate a cappella group, if given the opportunity, would you want to collaborate with?
No comment.
And that is actually the name of a group for our viewers.
Oh, sorry. No comment a cappella. I'm sure Justin has this.
I was just gonna say our good friends at No Comment, we adore them, but I would say Northern Lights from
Yes.
Okay.
Durham University in the UK is my answer.
Love it, love it. All right, next one. What is your favorite animated show?
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob as well for me.
All right. Which member, and you may have to defend yourselves later after your group members watch this, but which member of Capitol Green would perform the best on Hell's Kitchen?
Harrison. Raymond.
Was gonna say the same person. Interesting. Who would do the best?
Justin, it's
Kale.
rapid fire.
Kale,
Yeah, rapid
sorry.
fire. Come on.
Rapid fire.
Okay. And Kel is a member of the group, right?
Kale is a member of the group. Yep.
Okay. Which member of Pentatonics do you each associate with the most?
I would say Kirsten. Justin.
Mitch.
There you go. There you have it. All right. This or that, okay? Who would you want to share the stage with between Manhattan Transfer or the Swingles?
Swingles.
Okay.
I was also going to say that as well.
That works. What would you say is your most useless talent?
Marching.
No.
Not
Okay.
useless.
That's fair. Mm-hmm.
Most useless talent?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Justin, yours is like drinking a whole gallon of water. That's not even useless.
I do drink a ton of water. So maybe that.
There is such a thing as water poisoning. Just throwing that
There
out
is.
there.
Well, there you
Okay.
go.
Too much.
Would you rather share the stage with Deke Sharon or Peter Hollins?
Maybe Peter?
I'll have to go with my icon, Deke Sharon.
Okay, here we go.
That works. What is your favorite live concert that you've ever seen?
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Twice.
Ooh. Yes.
I would say Khalid in 2019.
Okay, okay. What is your favorite TV or movie character?
I just want to say SpongeBob.
You're a fan. You're a fan. We get
I'm
it.
stuck on it.
Rapid fire, rapid fire.
Oh no.
Anakin Skywalker from Revenge of the Sith.
Oh.
Okay. What would you say is your spirit animal?
Otter. Rapid fire, Justin.
Penguin.
What is the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word? I'm going to say words because it's the Latin. When you hear the words acapella.
Music.
Area mics.
I have a hard time believing that that was the first thing that comes to mind, but that's okay.
Area mics.
We'll take it. What's the most interesting thing in your dorm, apartment, or bedroom?
Justin. We live together. He's right above me.
Oh.
I have a Koopa Troopa, like stuffed animal. I love
Ooh.
Koopa Troopa a lot. So
I'm gonna say my squishmallows.
Love it.
Yeah.
What is your least favorite pizza topping?
anchovy.
Yeah. I
Okay.
agree.
What's the best song you heard within the last year?
Who Believes in Angels by Brandy Carlisle and Elton John.
All by Myself by the Pitchmen.
Oh,
Very good.
yes.
What was your
yes.
first job?
I was a doggy daycare and boarding attendant.
I was a barista at a cafe.
Oh, nice.
And what was your last impulse buy?
Mouthwash.
Impulse?
I just hit buy on
coloring book.
Amazon. I don't know.
Oh, period. Mine was a coloring book.
Like for children or like the really detailed adult ones?
It's like not super detailed. They're like trending right now on TikTok with like the
Alright.
alcohol markers. Definitely for a child, but I'm rocking with it. So
I love it. Okay, final question. Who's your biggest musical inspiration?
Brandy Carlisle.
We
Tate
love
McRae.
Tate McRae right now.
Yeah.
We're a Tate McRae household currently.
Nice.
Okay, that works. And that wraps up our first rapid fire question round of 2025.
Well done.
So you all survived it. Love those answers. I heard a lot of SpongeBob in there. So clearly we got some fans.
Is that show still on?
It's not very good right
like
now.
new episodes? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Old stuff is better. New stuff is a little.
I was gonna say it came out when I was like in middle school, I think, for the first time.
Old stuff is better.
It's been a while.
Audrey and Justin, tell us, is there like what projects does Capitol Green have going on right now? Anything you want to plug, social media? How can our audience find you?
Yeah, I'll let Justin talk about our upcoming projects, but you can follow us on any social at MSU Capitol Green. Best way to reach us is on Instagram. I'm on there all the time. Shoot us a DM and talk to us. And Justin can plug our very soon incoming projects.
Yes, super exciting. We're releasing. We already have a part one documentary documenting our 2023 ICCA season. And in March, late March, we're going to have our EP, our music video, and part two of our Journey to ICCA documentary. So it'll be a very exciting release season for us towards the end of March. So stay tuned.
Nice. And we have an official date for the semifinals for this year?
March 29th at the Pabst Theater.
It's coming up, just like
Ooh,
yeah,
right around the corner.
right
We-
around the corner.
We love it. We love it. Well, I think that's everything. I think that's going to wrap up this episode. We want to thank both Justin and Audrey for you all coming on the show, speaking with us. I mean, it was a blast. I love hearing about everything that you guys have going on in Capitol Green. Like I said, we're going to be rooting for you guys. Much success in 2025. And I mean, we're expecting big things. I mean, you know, how can we not with
Not to put the pressure on or anything.
You know, not too much pressure there. But we've enjoyed getting to know you all, and like I said, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. This has been wonderful, and we're so grateful and excited to work with you guys more in the future.
Yes, thanks so much. Great to meet you both.
Of course, you're welcome back anytime. And for our viewers out there, that's going to do it for today's episode. We want to be sure to thank Acapella TV, of course, for allowing us to stream this episode, getting to interview such wonderful guests as Capital Green. And be sure to give the channel a follow, like, and subscribe below. You can always find us, Talkappella, on social media, on Instagram as well as TikTok at Talkappella, 2 P's, 2 L's, of course. And if you want to, send an email to us, reach out, any questions, share some thoughts about the show, suggest some new content for us, reach out to us at talkappella@acaville.org. Of course, Talkappella, 2 P's, 2 L's. And that's going to do it for today. For everything else, stay tuned.